Jake Gyllenhaal might be one of the most critically respected actors of his generation, but behind the polished red carpet smile and artsy film choices, there's a pattern that's impossible to ignore. For years, his dating life has played out like a private drama with public consequences, and somehow he's managed to keep his image untarnished. Until now. He's been called Hollywood's soft-spoken mystery man, but once you start piecing together the trail of broken hearts, carefully crafted PR spin, and emotionally lopsided relationships, it paints a very different picture. Some call him a master of silence. Others say he's just emotionally unavailable. But lately, more and more voices are wondering, is Jake Gyllenhaal actually one of the most emotionally dangerous men in Hollywood? It's easy to miss the signs when everything seems subtle. But when you zoom out, the pattern becomes clear. Women drawn in by his charm, often younger, rising stars, end up confused, hurt, or left with questions that never get answered. Meanwhile, Jake disappears into the background, letting publicists smooth out the damage and the media shrug it off. But with Taylor Swift's iconic heartbreak anthem still echoing in pop culture and new scrutiny on age gaps and power dynamics, the internet isn't letting him walk away so clean anymore. It all started with Kirsten Dunst. Back in 2002, they met through his sister Maggie, and before long, they were living together and raising a German Shepherd puppy like a married couple. On paper, it was a sweet Hollywood romance, young stars building a life together. But the reality? Their split in 2004 came just as suddenly as the relationship had started. They kept the details vague. They told the press they were still friends, but Jake kept the dog. And Kirsten admitted later that they just weren't compatible. He was the homebody type. She loved being out and about. It sounded polite, but insiders said things had been off for months. They were still showing up together for the cameras after they'd already broken up. That's how tightly controlled things were. Then came Reese Witherspoon. In 2007, they connected while filming a political thriller. What followed looked like something out of a Hallmark movie. Weekends on a farm, growing vegetables, raising chickens. It was the kind of picture-perfect domestic setup that tabloids love. Reese called Jake the most supportive man she'd ever been with. And then, nothing. 1 month, they're planting cucumbers and gushing in interviews. The next, they're done. No explanation. Just a press statement and a shocked public. It was jarring. The emotional whiplash left fans confused. How could something that seemed so stable just vanish overnight? But if you look closely, it's a signature move. Everything looks solid, then it collapses with zero warning. And he never really owns it. No public grief, no messy fallout, just silence. But the real turning point came in 2010. That's when he started dating Taylor Swift. She was 20. He was almost 30. At first it looked like a whirlwind romance, apple picking in upstate New York, spending Thanksgiving with his family, cozy winter strolls captured by paparazzi. But something shifted fast. By the time Taylor's 21st birthday rolled around, Jake was nowhere to be found. The party came and went. He ghosted her on the most important day of the year. Later, it was revealed he sent her an expensive guitar as a weak apology. But the damage was done. Then came the song. All Too Well wasn't just another breakup ballad. It was a dissection of emotional imbalance, of age gaps, of power dynamics that leave one person confused while the other walks away untouched. Taylor never confirmed it was about Jake, but she didn't have to. The scarf, the Thanksgiving references, the upstate drive, it was all there. Fans connected the dots immediately. What made it worse was Jake's reaction, or lack thereof. Instead of acknowledging anything, he dismissed the song's impact, claiming it was just about her connection to fans. He said he didn't begrudge her using personal experiences for music, but that carefully chosen word only made things worse. Begrudge? Really? It was a classic deflection wrapped in vocabulary. Even now, Taylor's lyrics sting. You said if we had been closer in age, maybe it would have been fine. It's not just a throwaway line. It's a statement about how older men often set the rules, then blame the fallout on youth. Fans didn't forget. That scarf became a symbol, and every time Jake showed up in public without addressing it, the internet dragged him all over again. This wasn't just a one-time situation. After Taylor, Jake kept dating women years younger. Anna Kendrick, Jessica Lowndes, Jean Cadieux. The pattern repeated over and over. Always charming, always private, always dating down the age ladder, and the double standard became undeniable. During a Spider-Man press tour, Jake repeatedly referred to 23-year-old Tom Holland as a kid, but at the same time, he was dating a woman the exact same age. What does that say about how he views maturity? That's not to say there's anything illegal going on, but fans aren't stupid. They see the trends, they see the gaps, and in 2025, they're calling it out louder than ever. Jean Cadieux, his current girlfriend, has been with him since 2018. She's 16 years younger. Jake talks about her fondly, calls her the most amazing woman he's ever met. But even then, he emphasizes their privacy, their quiet connection, their decision to stay out of the spotlight. It sounds sweet on the surface, but it also sounds like control. Another way to shield the relationship from scrutiny, to keep the narrative one-sided. And when people look back at Jake's entire romantic history, the red flags stack up. It's not just the age differences, it's the emotional withdrawal. The pattern of disappearing when things get serious. The way he lets the women tell the story, if they choose to, while he keeps his image polished and untouched. Taylor tried to peel back the curtain with All Too Well. Not out of revenge, but out of reflection. Years later, she looked back and realized what had actually happened. How young she was. How confusing the dynamic had been. That's not just her story, it's a story a lot of women relate to. Growing up and realizing the relationship wasn't love, it was control. Still, even with all that out in the open, Jake continues on like nothing ever happened. He gives philosophical interviews, talks about art and integrity, avoids questions about his past. He acts like none of it ever touched him, but it did. His reputation has shifted. Slowly, quietly. But people are paying attention now. On Reddit, on TikTok, on Twitter, fans are dissecting the timeline, pointing out the trends, asking the questions he refuses to answer. Why does he always date younger women? Why does he disappear without explanation? Why does he call 23-year-old men kids while dating 23-year-old women? Why has no one ever held him accountable? The truth is, Jake Gyllenhaal might not be the villain of Hollywood, but he's not the innocent, misunderstood artist either. He's a man who's mastered the art of emotional distance. A man who's built walls around his private life so high that no one gets to see what's really happening behind them. And in 2025, people are done giving him a pass just because he's quiet and handsome. Maybe Jean will be different. Maybe Jake has grown. But history doesn't lie. And until he starts owning the patterns, the silence will only get louder. So, what do you think? Is Jake just misunderstood, or is he hiding in plain sight behind that soft-spoken charm? Drop your thoughts in the comments. And if you thought this was wild, wait until you see what we've got next. Because Hollywood's messiest love lives? We're just getting started. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share. I'll see you in the next one. Stay curious.